Well, what's up everyone? Welcome to Third Lord in the 11th house. We're moving quick to end this series because it's been dragging for way too long. And yes, I finally got the glasses I needed. I can see clearly. I can finally, feel comfortable with glasses. It took a while because of the fact these are new high definition glasses which do not give you the fisheye effect, and they're 3 times more clear than the regular polyphomic or whatever that name is, the poly something glasses. So yes, finally feel good about it. Oh, and there's my wife cleaning in the background. Is the cleaning done, honey?
Yes.
Thank you. So yeah, third lord in the 11th house. Well, what does the third house represents? Third house represents your communication. Third house represents your siblings, your efforts, your strength, represents your skills, represents your hobbies, the things that you love doing. And third house is also the house of dramatic arts, dramatic media arts like acting, journalism, performing arts. Your artistic talent are seen from the third house. Especially skills of like sculpting, writing, any kind of hobby of mechanics. You can be a designer, sewer, is seen from the third house. When that planet that controls the third house goes into the 11th house, what happens? Well, what is the 11th house? 11th house is a house of your network circle. It's a house of your gains, your hopes, your wishes. Working with large organizations is big movement. Like people have this global warming movement going on. People have this huge spiritual movements going on. Is the person who gets these movement going and working for a large organization, political organization, are seen from the 11th house. 11th house is the house that connects people, and through connection of other people, you come up with an idea and you uplift the entire society. So 11th house becomes quite an important house. So when that lord is in the 11th house, that's what we're discussing today. And obviously, if you do not know what your third lord is, who's controlling this house, and if it's in the 11th house, some other house that you may want to watch the video of, for that obviously check out this link here and you can get your full astrological report with the most comprehensive charts analysis that you'll ever find on the web. Okay, so third lord, when it goes in the 11th house, shows that your ability to communicate with other people goes towards your network circle, goes towards bringing large organizations together, bringing large ideas together, and uplifting society with that, with your communication, with your speaking skills, with your writing skills. Perhaps you write to help organization, get their gains, get their funding for doing what they want to do. Through your public speaking skills with large organizations, corporations, you're able to help them innovate. You can help large society innovate through your communication. Your artistic talent now goes into these corporations, goes into organized group setting, goes into helping people around the world, connecting people through your creativity. Whether it's your art that is about universal ideas, or your writing skills, your books, your poetry about connecting people with each other, or perhaps just your simple speaking skills, are all going towards a large purpose, are all going towards working with other people. So it becomes quite important, this third house. Your efforts and your willpower goes into making an organization successful. So it's a really great thing for like people who want to go into corporate field or corporate environment, people who want to go into scientific environment. They want to use their writing skills to gain funding for some sort of a scientific organization that you have become a part of. So you see how it really calibrates all the things of the third house here in the most useful way. And as far as journalism is concerned, you can be a financial or of the financial journalist of the marketplace. Like you see in the United States, MSNBC. They have CNN and MSNBC India now, where they talk about stock market, they talk about what's happening in corporations, things are going up and down. So these are journalists. Obviously, they're like now corporate media has controlled by these big guns. Still, the term journalist is being used, that they're using their third house communication skills to talk about the marketplace, talk about stocks, finance, bonds. However, depending upon what planet is controlling the third house and sits in the 11th house, certain things will be molded, certain things will be expressed through a different scenario. So let's discuss that. So let's say Sun controls your third house, Sun goes into the 11th house, shows that your personality, your ego, your self-esteem, including your father, all of it becomes a part of a large organization and dealing with other people. Your father gave you the confidence to go out and deal with people, deal with network circle, how to create network circle. Your siblings were like your personality shapers. They shaped your personality because third house is also siblings, okay, your close neighbors. They helped you, your personality, which is now helping itself to create network. It shows that your siblings, especially because 11th house also represents elder siblings, shows that your younger siblings perhaps are now taking role of the older siblings. It can show that your younger siblings are so mature, especially Sun ruling the third house, that they took this leadership quality in your life. And through that, you learned about network, you learned about, how to deal with people. And your personality is all about, making networks. Your ego, your personality is about going out there, making network, especially in political arena, especially in government network. People you know in politics, people you know in law, people you may know in like higher executive position. That's what Sun represents. Moon controls the third house, going in the 11th house, shows that your mother was very much into the social scene. She worked for a corporation. She helped you develop your skills of dealing with other people because you saw and you witnessed your mom doing it. Because Moon is the mother, Moon is your mind, Moon is the way you think, Moon is your emotions. So your emotional balance comes when you're connecting with other people, when you're communicating with other people and you're connecting. Because now Moon is not really about writing, Moon is now becoming about more of the mind. But it's still controlling your third house of, everything that I described. So that's still happening. But because Moon is now bringing other signification, it's doing what it's doing in the 11th house. Let's say Mercury controls your third house and goes into the 11th house. Mercury represents writing, communication, your speech. It's a significator of sculpting, significator of mimicking like an actor. It's a signification of business, accounting. So really shows that this person, he's going to use his intelligent, logical mind, his business ability to go out and connect with other people. This is, actually I've seen so many people with these alignments who work in big corporations. They're like in the executive positions, have their own business, stockbrokers, in finance, financial analysts, accountants, Hardly I've seen writers, but they're very communicative. Their ability to write, proposals and reports are there. Because I wanted to know, like, especially in my initial astrological learning stage, I'm like, are you writing regarding like big organization and helping things? Like, no. But I just write proposals for my company. Like, they're going out and getting funding for something. They're going out and getting more clients, and they're writing these report proposals for things. Corporate lawyers can be seen with Mercury here. And if they do write, they will write about uplifting some sort of a movement, bringing some organization together. And this is a really great a position for somebody who does corporate public speaking, corporate motivation, because that's what Mercury is, his business and corporation and it is speech itself. So a lot of things extract, but mainly financial things are seen from this position. Like through your efforts, you'll be able to get your gains, which is 11th house. Through your efforts, you'll be able to get your hopes and wishes come true. And that actually goes for every planet that I should have mentioned, but Mercury especially, because Mercury is business. Venus controls the third house going into the 11th house, shows that you will have a lot of female network circle. Women in your life will help you gain. Through your communication, you will be able to gain through women. Through your communication, you will be able to get your hopes and wishes come true through women. You will find your wife in a large network circle. You will find your wife through a network circle, through a large organization, through a big public function. That's where you will meet your wife, because Venus represents wife and a partner, but mainly it's wife in a man's chart. And especially Venus represents creativity as well of the third house. So in the 11th house, again, it doesn't necessarily mean you can be an actor, because to be an actor, your first and third and fifth have to be involved. But it really shows you can use your creativity, you can use your acting skills to gain in corporate world. A lot of people know how to act, they know how to sell, they know how to, just swindle you off your feet. Venus can do that. let's say Jupiter rules the third house, goes into the 11th house. Well, Jupiter is what? Jupiter is your higher self. Jupiter is your spirituality, religion, finance, children. And when it goes into the 11th house, shows that you will gain all these things because it signifies all these things, including the things of the third house. And Jupiter, especially with the finance in the 11th house, can show somebody who's in the stock market as a financial analyst, somebody who is going out there and teaching large organization how to perhaps communicate well, how to sell their product, how to market, because Jupiter is a natural teacher. So you're going in corporations, in the corporate world, in large organization, in a large organized setting, and you're teaching something. It could be spirituality, but mainly in the real mundane world, it might be things of the finance, things of business. You know, you can be a classical or art and music teacher who goes out in a large organized setting and teach people classical music and art, because that's what Jupiter represents. Saturn controls your third house, goes into the 11th house, shows what? Saturn is what? Saturn is delay, frustration, structure, organization. It's about making things, everything proper, everything detailed. That's what Saturn represents. Saturn represents oil, steel, anything that's under the ground. Saturn is representing that. So Saturn, third lord, being in the 11th house shows that you will, obviously it also shows one thing that I forgot to mention, is that you will get gains through siblings. Because now the third lord is in the 11th house, so it's gained through siblings, okay? And when third lord is controlled by Saturn, goes into the 11th house, what it shows is that you may not have an older sibling. Saturn will stop having the older sibling, so you may be the oldest sibling, and you might have younger siblings. Okay, but it'll be a delay. There'll be a large gap between you and your younger siblings, perhaps 7-8 years, because of the fact Saturn is influencing the 11th house and is the third house lord. So it's bringing delay. It's bringing long duration of gap in between you and your siblings. It shows that early on in life, it was very hard for you to make network circles. It was very hard for you to make any kind of connection and friends, and you were frustrated with it. No matter how much attention you paid, you were frustrated with it because Saturn was teaching you to be focused, to be patient, to be detailed about what you do. And Saturn can also represent scientific thinking, because especially if it's Aquarius sign, co-ruled by Rahu, it can really show, especially Rahu in the 11th house with Saturn, somebody who's a scientific thinker and who's using his third house skills of communication and effort to put into a scientific knowledge, to perhaps bring some sort of a revolution into the society through their scientific thinking. Saturn becomes the organizer of the large crowd politically, because Saturn represents the masses. Saturn represents all those people who vote for politicians, which are people who are cleaning toilets, people who are taxi drivers, people who are construction workers, people who are blue collar, white collar, green collar, any collar, your common average people who are doing things and living their lives and doing the best they can to provide for their family. And when Saturn is the 11th house, it shows somebody who can develop skills to capture that crowd. So it's especially good for the political arena. Saturn here knows how to really capture the hearts of the people who are not higher up in society but lower up, yet they mean a lot because their vote counts. So politically it's good, scientifically it's good. And through gains, Saturn gives a lot of gain in his Mahadasha, but only after the age of 32, if it's in the 11th house. Because of the fact Saturn gives everything with delay. But 11th house is this very good house because originally Saturn controls the 11th house. The sign of Aquarius is the 11th sign of the zodiac belt, meaning representing the 11th house. And that's Saturn Mool Trikon sign, meaning Saturn really considers that as his home. So during its Mahadasha, he will give you context of a lot of older, mature, wise people. Whether it's men, women, Saturn doesn't care because Saturn is neutral like Mercury. Saturn doesn't have a male or female sex. So he will give you a lot of old and strict and conservative crowd as your network circle. So it's really good for in political arena because you want to win the hearts of those total conservative older people who really go out and vote. A lot of young people don't vote and probably won't going to vote, especially in the US after seeing what they got with Obama, and now they're going to not probably go. But older crowd is always into politics. So those are the things you will start to see with this placement. All right. So guys, this was my analysis of third lord in the 11th house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to know where your third lord is placed and all your astrological alignments, including all the insights that you never knew, for that, check out this link here at astrologycares.com, where you get your full astrological report, including my books that give you the most detailed analysis of your horoscope from astrology, aspect, and conjunction at the speed of light. Otherwise, we'll see you next time with third lord in the 12th house. Bye-bye.